Hey guys, so we're going to practice our Bible verse for the letter Y again, and then we're going to continue learning about Catarina and her 10 fingers. So, remember, it's ye are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. Gonna say it with me? 3 times. Ye are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. Let's say it again. Ye are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. Last time. Ye are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. So yesterday we heard about Catarina, and she really wanted something. Do you remember what she really wanted? She wanted to go to Sunday school. She had been before, but her mama told her, you can't go. And how did she feel about that? She was sad, and she started to cry. So her daddy said, "How many? You can go on, but you can go how many times? 10 times, 1 for each of her different fingers." So she ran off and she heard the lessons, and she went week after week after week until she had a story for 9 fingers. And then her family had to move. In the new village, they didn't have Sunday school. So what did she do? She started to be the Sunday school teacher. And in her first story, she told them all about Jesus and the great things he did. So, she started to tell them all of her different stories for all of her different fingers. And she told them over and over and over until she and all the other boys and girls knew them by heart. And they named Catarina's fingers after the stories she told. There was the shepherd finger, the manger finger, the temple finger, the disciple finger, and the sick finger. That was one of her hands. And then on the other hand, she had the lunch finger, the preaching finger, the cross finger, the resurrection finger, and that was the 10th finger. Did she have a story for that one? She didn't. And she says, "Oh, I want so bad to have a story to tell for that last finger." But since she didn't have another story to tell for that finger, she just started over with the shepherd story and would tell them over and over and over again until she would get to that last finger and not have a story every time. Well, one day a missionary came to her new village, and she gathered everyone around, and she started telling the women and children this special story. And one of the kids said, "We know how that story ends. It's Catarina's 3rd finger story." The lady was a little confused, the missionary. She says, "I don't know who Catarina is, but I have another story." And so she started telling another story. And another kid said, "That's Catarina's 6th finger story." And the lady said, "Who is Catarina?" She's looking at all the children. "Who is it?" All of Catarina's friends start saying, "Go on, go on." So Catarina listens. She goes up and she asks, and the missionary, she asked her, "Are you Catarina?" She says, "I am." She says, "Tell me what this is about your fingers." And she says, "I'm Catarina, and I know a Bible story for these 9 fingers." And she held up her 9 fingers. She says, "But I don't have a story for this little finger right here. Can you tell me one?" And the missionary, she tells Catarina, she says, "Your fingers are a story all in themselves." After Jesus rose from the dead, and just before he went to heaven, he said, "Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel." That means Jesus said to go out and tell everybody about what he did, about his works. Jesus wants us to tell people about him. And Catarina had done just that. By telling all the different stories for all her different fingers, she was spreading Jesus' gospel, spreading what he had done. So, she told Catarina, your finger is a story in itself. And you moved from one village to another, and you told everyone your stories. You were spreading the gospel. So after that, everybody called Catarina's 10th finger the Go Ye finger. Because the Bible tells us, go ye into all the world and make disciples of all the nations. So, did Catarina do what the Bible tells us to do? She did, because she went and spread God's message.